Yo. Stream. Yeah, I think we're good. I think. Oh, yeah, we're good. Hey, everybody. Welcome, Lalualu444. Hey. Hello. Oh, boy, here we go. Yep. No, I see it. I hear you. Hey, everybody. Happy Monday. Goodness gracious. Let me get some tunage, if that's A-okay. Let me start things off. And we'll chill for a little bit. And then, yeah, we'll see what we're cooking up here. Yep. Hello, everybody. Yeah. Oh man, chat's already having fun. We might be cooking lobsters today. We might be, I don't know, just experimenting, just playing. Because there's a lot there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot to talk about. Let me get a little bit let me get my bearings. Let me open today's energy drink. And then, yeah, we'll goof off. Give him a little bit of time, though. Happy Monday, everybody. How was your weekend? What'd you do? Were you steamrolled by the snow just like we were? Yeah, I wanted to stream on Saturday, but did not make that happen. I had a morning slot, and I did not take advantage of that as well as I should have. But I got nerd sniped by Clawdbot. Started to play with that a little bit. So, I think it might be fun to dig into a little bit of Clawdbot today. And we will... Oh, thanks so much for the follow, Cyrus_Zay. Appreciate it. Someone you don't know, -0. You got my attention, my friend. Ooh, we got good news coming in and some sidebar notifications that you can't see. Yep. So yeah, weekend was kind of shot, nerd sniped by that fun little extracurricular that would be sweet to dig into and chat a little bit about today. So we'll derail from what we have been working on so far for the live streams, so probably play with Clawdbot, see what we could mess around with, and then talk about it. Talk about the security stuff, which I know we're going to get a lot of different opinions, and I do genuinely want your input, but... Oh, hey! MK7.5 Ronan saw the documentary trailer of Midnight in the War Room. Heck yeah! Excellent. Congrats. Thank you for seeing it happen. The S for security. S stands for security in Clawdbot. I like that. So yeah, starting late today, again, as usual. The morning got ahead of me. I also still had to do some shoveling today for the snow. Dig our driveway out. And now we've got a little bit of time because meetings and the rest of the, actual obligations for me are probably going to kick off around afternoon Eastern. But we might be able to goof off and hang out for a little bit. We might be able to hang out and banter about the claws. So that's the plan. That's the gist. And we'll get on the computer and probably make that a little bit more tactical super duper soon. I am going to chill for just a little bit more to get a chance to hang out with you all, to get a chance to chat and see what's going on in your world. Hey bro, how to get a cybersecurity internship? You apply. You just chat with them. You just ask. Yeah. The Enlightened Master. Clawdbot's a cool idea, but holy crap. If you know how AI works, you would not run that. So yeah, I feel like there's a lot to talk about. And we'll dive in. I think we should do it. I think we should just kind of get started. Yeah? Let's get the old computer. Yeah. I set up Clawdbot over the weekend and was goofing off with that. And I feel like we could try to mess around with it on stream. Or at least talk. Or at least kind of banter about it. So let's get things cooking. Oh, thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate you. Let me actually pop that out so I can see that a little bit better. But as you know, look, live streams that we've been doing have been casual. They've been relaxed. They have been pretty friendly, pretty cool, pretty chill. I don't pretend to know anything. And we're here to learn together. For funsies. Play for profit. Big thanks for the follow. Appreciate you. Okay, no, I didn't. You said not for me. I get mad every single stream that you do. You hate it. I'm so sorry. Thank you, Play for Profit. Whoa, the subscribe. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, etc. Multiple thank yous, multiple appreciations, multiple gratitudes. All right, let's clean up our mess here. Can we, like, hide the tabs? Tab. Toggle tabs. Menu. Okay, cool. We could probably actually go, like, distraction, free zone. Then we still see the menu. What are you doing there? Oh, that looks crisp. That looks sharp. That looks okay. Yeah, so... Oh... For those of you who've been tracking, last week we've been doing a little bit more live streams. We have been playing with our robots. I am embarrassingly so. I'm very upset by this. Thank you, S1 Tick, for the follow. I am embarrassingly AI built. I'm not going to lie to you. I am upset about it. It does not... I feel shame. But I hope that I have the wherewithal. I'm hoping that I have kind of the understanding to kind of just know what is good and bad. Hey, Eva, how's it going? Great to see you. So let me walk you through a little bit. Actually, let me go full so we can just talk. Let me tell you a little bit of my journey and trajectory with some of these AI bells and whistles and doodads. So you can kind of get at least a little bit of my context. I feel like ChatGPT released, and that was cool. That was when the world was like, whoa, AI, wow. And then... I mean, I bebopped around in that, just like copy pasting in and out of the chat prompts. And that's what we kind of got used to for, I think, the early, what was it? 2023, 2024? I don't know time. Time is a vortex. So, and that's how, like, we messed around. That's how we played with stuff for a long while. But then Cursor hit the streets and Cursor had its moment. And that was pretty cool to have a little bit more development work, programming, slinging code around with an AI harness in the mix. And it was, so-so. It was good. It was fine. It was cool. We still had the moment then. And then Claude Code hit the streets. And then I also dove into that. Opus came out December timeline, January 25. So, like, again... I've said this a few times, and I think at some of the past streams. If you have not played with AI recently, like as of last month and this month, something happened. The game changed. The landscape did do a little... and it's completely different than, copy and pasting crap out of ChatGPT from the years prior. So, Opus... was so cool to play with. And then I saw the hullabaloo with Anthropic figuring out the subscription stuff. And you know what? Actually, we should validate this, because in the last couple of live streams, we've been playing with OpenCode, and we were using OpenCode with a Claude subscription. And I think, again, the lords of our AI world have smite down with a lightning bolt as to whether or not that was cool or kosher. So... oh, let me get a whisper flow so we can talk to a robot like an absolute degenerate, and my hands are still free to flail around, as that's how I talk and speak. So let me see if we can get that going for us. Actually, let me go full cam for a quick sec. You still with me? Stand by, stand by. Hello, computer. Okay, cool. Yeah. Robots are doing what they should. So, hey, quick check, Claude. Are you still with me? Let me make sure we're not. Let me make sure we're not shot down dead from the gods above us for our AI overlord. All right, dope. I just wanted to check. So anyway, I fell down the OpenCode rabbit hole after those, Anthropic things happened, and we've been doing that on stream because it's fun, because it's goofy, because it's neat. But I feel like, and what we've done for a lot of the work that we've been doing together on stream, is to show you a little bit of my perspective in that, like, look, the security aspect are, of course, the things that I want to talk about and chat about. So we built out all of the notes in Notion, the notions of, not the programmer software, SaaS as a service shenanigans Notion, that you're live. Everything that we're doing with our robot is live streamed in public. So that's a little spooky, shady shenanigans. And I wanted to kind of steer and structure how we write code and develop software. We chose to do stuff in Golang because while I was pooping around and playing with stuff on my own, I did stuff in Python because Python is easy to read, easy to write. That's the language that I just naturally use. That's my knee-jerk reaction. Do something in Python. Then moving in and out of a sandbox to actually have something like, okay, in a safe and secure virtual machine to let our robot and AI run free and do whatever damage it might end up doing because, it's a black box with no guardrails. Put it in a VM. Put it in a sandbox. So that is when you can set the YOLO mode, bypass permissions, and at least have, some of your fear and shame and worry placated. Some, not a lot, but in its own box, in its own machine, right? So Python was problematic while we were doing that because of virtual environments. So we went for Golang, and that's what we've been building out with some of the tooling here. We started to craft and create our different MCP servers because I got to chat with Zach Corman, right? We've had our video together for him showing me his evil MCP server where, yes, everything that you communicate with via your MCP server will get all of your code, all of your context, all of your prompts, and then it could do whatever it wants because it is a program. It is its own arbitrary code execution that you're allowing. Granted, when you ship out your prompts and your communication to a remote MCP server that someone else is hosting, yeah, they're totally getting all that goods and gems and jewels. If you're running it locally, okay, then there's less of a fear because it's, like your own MCP server, but it's still then arbitrary code execution of what you have defined and allowed that MCP server to do. So write your own MCP servers. And that's what we've done, right? Over in our terminal, we were building out our own stupid, simple, silly, and a lot of people might give me flack for it because it's probably not really necessary, but we created libraries for us to be able to work with specific things that we know that we want inside of the Golang code that we put together, like command line configurations, databases, secrets, management, etc. And we'll talk about secrets more in a second, but I did want to fall down the MCP rabbit hole to keep giving you context as you are a fellow robot and AI. So the context manager and even the stream inbox, you might have saw when we fired up OpenCode, we got to see the fact that, look, we had MCPs connected. Those are the ones that we created and we hosted and we made on our own, right? That gives us a little bit more peace of mind. Granted, those were vibe coded. We told the robot to do that. And then we tried to go take a look at some of the code that it crapped out for us. But at least we gave it enough of the guardrails, enough of the control and understanding of, hey, this is how we like our code to be written. These are the philosophies, our design and development standards, our model North Star guiding light for how we put some of this stuff together. So I say all this because the secrets manager is a little bit important, because when we get to the conversation of Clawdbot, we need to talk a little bit about those secrets, because it's your access that is now what is important, right? It is you creating this personal AI assistant that could do whatever it might do, right? Clawdbot. Wow. Wowie zowie. Make that big, make that loud, make it big font. Lobster emoji. Cool. Chat, how are you feeling? Have I been rambling already? We're about 15 minutes in. That's not bad. So, yeah, I was falling down the rabbit hole as to how I got Clawdbot in my world. Now, when I have been poking and playing with some of these things when AI outside of stream, off stream, before we started this little tirade rampage that we've been doing last week and will hopefully continue to, it is what I wanted. Clawdbot is, oh, hey, John Malware Fishing. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for the follow and the incredible username. Great stuff. I wanted a personal AI assistant, right? That sounds cool. Liu Krang, big thanks for the follow. That sounds pretty awesome. I think it would be sweet to have something automatically triage my email inbox and handle all the constant Slack notifications and actually respond to Discord messages that I haven't done for years, or actually dig through things to be able to make sure that we are, responding and triaging and doing all the things that I need to do in a digital world, but take away from what I just naturally do for real in my life, right? Everybody wants Jarvis. Thank you, Cyrus. I see that in the chat. Like, that sounds dope. That sounds cool. But big security asterisk, right? Just a friendly guy. Thanks so much for the follow. So, Clawdbot, I saw across the internet airwaves on the Twitterverse. And I looked at it and I was thinking, ooh, that sounds kind of neat. That sounds kind of cool. That sounds like everything that I've been wanting, I've been building out and been trying to make into my own little scrappy Python tooling that I would move in and out of like a virtual machine sandbox. But then I would, of course, run into the predicament of like, okay, if I need to give this thing access to my email, access to my file system, access to all of the things, that's when we get super sketched and scared, right? So let me pull this thing up so that folks have a little bit more visuals. We were looking at the Restream API just as well. That was something that we wanted to now play with for a later stream, but we're getting nerd sniped and shot by Clawdbot. Oh, did I have www, not use? It's intentionally with a W because it's a claw. There we go. Okay. Clawdbot. The AI that actually does things. And now that has been the difference, right? Some way, somehow, I think Clawdbot, granted, it's still ultimately just a wrapper around your OpenAI subscription, your Anthropic subscription, whatever other model, anything that you want to particularly use. But some way, somehow, I don't know if it's in the soul document, I don't know what Peter Steinberger built into the secret sauce here, that it is like very action-oriented and objective-driven. It needs to have something happen when you tell it whatever you want to do. But it is still ultimately chatbot, right? It is still, okay, AI, LLM that you're communicating with back and forth. So what we can do for our video, for our live stream, for some of our fun time together, is see if we can get it cooking. See if we can get it up and running. See if we can play with it. And, hey, xbear_ZA, appreciate the follow. And the other benefit and the thing that I think people have loved is the fact that, like, look, you're able to talk to it not through a web browser website, but through the messaging apps that you're probably already used to, like Telegram or WhatsApp or Discord or Slack or whatever, or via the browser. And it's open source, right? Tons of people are throwing in different skills, blah, blah, blah. It's the personal assistant Jarvis hype that everyone has been screaming and shouting about. Cool. Genuinely cool thing. I'm having fun playing with it, but I'm trying to do it in a smart and secure and safe way, which I think is the rub. I think we need to get a little bit smart on. We need to think and perceive how Clawdbot may integrate with your perceived risk and personal threat model. Thank you, Fafuja, for the follow. You know what I mean? This is me being the security person who says security things sometimes. Look. Wow. Wow. Wowie zowie. So, the first thing that we get to when you want to use or play with or start up Clawdbot is installing it and running it and deploying it, right? So, 1, deploying. Now, there are a couple different options, right? You can do this on your own computer. Granted, then you have it accessing your files. Potentially, you could run the thing in sandbox mode, and it's got like its own little Docker container to go do its damage in. Maybe you put it on like some other unused computer. Whoa, typo there. Or you put it in the cloud with like a VPS. Or for some reason, the Twitterverse is going freaking crazy buying a boatload of Mac Mini computers for no reason when it does not need that. I'm not one to tell someone what to do. I'm not one to say, oh, do this or don't do this. But you don't need to. $600 or whatever the case may be. Of course, I'm sure there are other options. Am I forgetting anything, chat? Are you hanging out with me? Are you still here? Are you guys alive? Are you all robots? Are you all lobsters? John Mauer Fishing says yes. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, you could run it on your phone, realistically. You could probably, anything that kind of runs Mac or Linux, right? It's meant to be cross-platform. Granted, the Windows rendition is using WSL2, the Windows subsystem for Linux. Atomic ZNY, thank you so much. Atomic's New York, thanks for the follow. It automatically installs Node and does all the stuff, which we could talk through just as well. Right? So let's think about security shenanigans for each of these. Right? If you put it on your own actual computer, your daily driver. Oh, I'm running out of new lines. That is probably a bad call. Especially, I mean, you can run it in sandbox mode, but that sounds like a bad idea. To me. Jack Chayton, thanks so much for the follow. You can put it in the cloud. Make it easy. I see a lot of folks going ahead and throwing something up on a Hetzner, throwing something up in the digital ocean. And that is a good, easy, quick and easy way. But then, okay, you're paying for that however much, like $X a month. XYZ. And then you have network security concerns, right? Because as I'm sure we will see, as I'm sure you have already seen, as I'm sure the internet and Twitterverse and everyone is already going to be screaming and shouting about, hey, if that's just open to the world, if that's like publicly broadcasting the gateway for Clawdbot to run, you are waiting to get hacked sword. That same thing with like the control UI, and I think there have been a lot of already articles out and about showcasing that. We should look through some of them. I think that would be cool and that would be fun. Can we already cross out the Mac Mini direction? You guys all know you don't need to, but then it is like essentially dedicated, unused. I did it again. Device. That'd still be cool. That'd still be good, but you don't need to spend that amount of money. And I think Peter and everyone is already using it. Yeah. So then we can talk about the prompt injection risks whenever we are digging into this. I think we get to more of those in just a sec. There are a lot more bells and whistles to discuss. But for our deployment options, let me, like BRB, let me show you how I and where I put Clawdbot. So let me go full screen, full cam for just a quick sec. And again, this is all for playground, this is all for sandbox, this is all for learning, this is all for experimentation. BRB. Like literally 30 seconds. Give me a sec. All right, I brought my lobster back. I brought my Clawdbot into the room with me, and this is it. This is the GPD Pocket 2. It's a old silly little laptop, and it is where my Clawdbot lives. Whoa, thank you, white balance. You can barely see any of that. But that's it. This is what is hosting it for me. And I wanted it to be just an unused machine that I have purposefully and very intentionally just wiped everything and gave it this as its playground. There are no files on it, nothing of mine realistically. And I installed Linux Mint because I didn't want to deal with Windows and the WSL, and I'm also functionally incapable of using a Mac. For funsies, I did hook it up to some local models that we'll talk about in the framework desktop that I have that is now plugged in and I can't show you, but it's a computer. So stand by. The thing is, I have more computers than I need. I have too many little toy devices, one of which being the GPD Pocket 3. Just another teeny tiny laptop, stupid toy for me to play with. And like the GPD Win Max or whatever that I use for like toy, playing a game or goofing off. And a handful of little laptops that I just don't use anymore, right? So I just wanted to dedicate whatever old, stupid laptop device that is unused to put Clawdbot on, so it has its own dedicated device, not out public and in the world and across the internet and open to the wind. Yes. And of course, chat, we would not actually integrate a lot of things that may or may not have sensitive info. But this guy's still cooking. And we installed Linux Mint on it. Yes, Cyrus, I know that they are not Infinity Stones. I don't need to collect them all. I think I am uncomfortably, though. We did like a count. We were goofing off with friends and coworkers. We're like, how many computers do you own? I was like, I think we're in double digits, which is a little embarrassing. This is the desktop that I use, the framework desktop, the laptop that I use, another laptop that I used to have, another laptop that I used to use, another, like all these stupid toys. Like, they're dumb. This is a bad problem. I'm not happy about it. I'm upset. Oh, Sam Curry. We gave Clawdbot admin permissions in Discord and it has been total chaos. Hell yeah. That's hysterical. We should do some of those like funny random setups. So for this, let's see if we can get Clawdbot installed inside of a virtual machine within this, just for the sake of streaming and showcasing, right? Local, only in our environment, only in our network. Not public on the internet, no virtual private server, no Hetzner, no DigitalOcean, whatever. Live to win 2. Thank you for the follow. No Mac Mini, no, absolutely not your host and daily driver computer and machine. Do not do that. I would not recommend it. I'm not one to tell people what to do. A couple suggestions. So let me go put the robot away, and then I'll go be back with you, and then we will do computer. But first, we need to change this song. Dear God. All right. BRB. 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 Okay, internet. Are you people still here? Whoa. You guys, hey, DeLorean CR, thanks so much for the follow. Whoa, super chat. I don't know why super chats don't come through in the alert box. I'm really sorry. In case I missed anyone, I apologize. Your CRTO, want to go for CRTL, thinking to go for WMD bundle 1 through 3. Will there be a WMD 1 through 5 bundle super soon? Yes. And am_git, thank you for the follow. Shaikwakwas B7L, thank you so much for the super chat. And congratulations on passing CRTO and want to go for more. I really appreciate you looking at some of the WMD bundle on Just Hacking Training, our extra venture. Yes, the WMD bundle 1 through 3 for all those different lessons, courses, and learning paths are, hey, thank you so much for the follow, Kirby. Currently, that one is like 46% off or something absurd. WMD 1 is like name your price. It's a little bit more accessible right now because WMD 6 is on the way. Windows malware development is what we're talking about, by the way. Some training on JHT, Just Hacking Training. WMD 6 is in the works. Big thanks to David Slosh. Holy cow, thank you for the follow. Thank you for the follow. Thank you for all the things. So we're trying to get that going. For that reason, WMD 1 is much more approachable. And then when WMD 6 is out, there will be a package and bundle for that intermediate and advanced one. Yeah, sorry, SSL is probably broken on the join Discord crap. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, you're distracting me, chat. We will not mess with this on Windows. Let's see if we can get this installed and cooking with the amount of time that we have. In a Linux virtual machine. So I want to... Okay. Stop. I want to get a new Linux VM put together. So you can't see these drives. Hey, John Sue 20, big thanks for the follow. Where did I put the ISO for Linux Mint? I think I did there. You can't see these pop-ups, and forgive me, but I am going to try and just get a quick virtual machine cooking for us. Let's do Linux Mint base. Let's give it 50 gigs. And let's start with that. Yep. Okay, Linux Mint base. Let me create a fresh create snapshot, which is not necessary. But yes, you could totally run on a Raspberry Pi, etc., etc. And while that machine is cooking up, let me give a little bit more visuals and context, because while you could run this on Mac, on Linux, on Windows with WSL2, on Ubuntu or whatever, I opted for Linux Mint with the XFCE desktop environment, just so it's a smidge faster. I know Cinnamon and the others are like so cool, slick, beautiful, but XFCE just does feel, even just by perception, lighter, right? Less resource intensive. So that's what we did. So Linux Mint should now be, I hope, installing or starting. I guess we're getting a lot of stuff happening. I didn't click to boot right to it, so it should still do it automatically. And then once we get a functioning state of Linux Mint, hopefully we'll be quick to cruise through this install. Then we can get Clawdbot installed. But while Linux Mint is installing, let me speed through this. If our desktop comes to life. Cool. Please install. You don't need a desktop environment for Claude in the first place. You totally don't. USR 3801. We will end up probably SSHing into it to be able to at least interact with the command line interface once we get it all up and running. But I just wanted a box that's easy. Hey, I still steal 99. Thank you for the follow. So let me start this process, and then we can talk a little bit more about the install process of Clawdbot, which at least has like one talking point. That's fine. That's fine. Give me a bit. Do hackers use Clawdbot? I don't know. Probably not. I did see some folks starting to think and pontificate as to how it might be cool for like orchestration of bug bounty research and recon. But I feel like, look, it's super duper early. It's so early. Like, obviously Twitter and everyone was like popping off, going crazy about this over the weekend. Let's just build this as Clawdbot. We know we'll make this used for Clawdbot. That's fine. And then let's use a super totally insecure password because this is just a virtual machine. Yeah? Realistically, if we're only going to be building this for Clawdbot, then we can call it like robot because that's what we've been calling everything so far. And I apologize. I don't think we have the best resolution in this virtual machine, so it might be a little bit hard to see. 401bit says, John, you should post a link to your website in the About section here on Twitch. I should really give Twitch a lot more love. I historically have not particularly known how to use it well. And I've just ignored it because YouTube has been the main platform. I'm looking at chat. Clawdbot mailed my wife the wrong date for a trip that I booked, so I don't trust it at all. True enough. All right. It's installing Linux Mint, so we'll have a home for this thing. But let's talk a little bit about our install process. Now, hey, error12222222 _ thank you for the follow. Yes, every handle taken. A lot of people are talking about system access concerns, but realistically, it is the fact that you connect your email, your calendar, your apps, your communication messages, anything and everything like your bank, something wild and crazy. Some people were giving Claude a credit card, which, I don't know. Again, the idea is neat. The idea, thank you, Zaluk, thank you for the follows, etc. It's like, wow, wouldn't it be wild to have our own Jarvis? But then you're just like handing out the keys of the kingdom, and there's a lot more to talk about it. So let me get back to our robot, Yanni Pants 5000. Thank you for the follow. Let's talk about installing curl pipe to bash. Okay, hey, my nerds, my geeks, my gangsters here in the chat, you guys know what, you already know what we're going to talk about right now. Curl pipe to bash is already still sketch, right? And this has become the norm. This is just how everyone gives you a quick one-liner command to install things. But then it's like, wow, you're getting remote information, remote data, the content that is provided here at this link, piping it straight into your shell in Linux or Linux or Linux or Linux again, but Mac also maybe sometimes. So we could like download this and we could see what the script does. And I have not done this. I'll admit I have not actually opened this up. So, oh, can I open with Sublime Text? Thanks. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Whoa! Now, Sufane. Hey, how's it going, my friend? Thank you for the follow. Yeah, run it with sudo. So yeah, this has just become the norm, by the way. This is just how you are almost always told to install things now. But if you can, if you are willing, again, this is all dependent on your perceived risk and personal threat model. Maybe we can take a look at what the code actually does. Set pipe fail for some control in the terminal. Clawdbot installer comments here, noting how that's used with HTTPS. Handful of terminal escape sequences for color. Default tagline, all your chats one Clawdbot. And then determining the path based off the path environment variable. Thank you, Code Sachiko. Appreciate the follow. A couple functions to be able to clean up temporary files. Whoa. What? What? Okay. Drew E_dev, thank you for the follow. Make a temp file, just a wrap around it. Downloader will end up determining whether or not you actually have these curl or wget commands available, so you could actually reach the internet. Thanks, creator. I hope you told your kid that yes, it was the best friend. Download file is actually ending up running this, right? So download file is the function that you just pass in arguments to for it to be able to do things. Run remote bash, functions for it to use, clean up legacy, npm paths, blah, blah, blah. I'm trying to find the extra actual URLs and locations that it installs these things from, because ultimately we are going to end up pulling down npm, the node package manager, and then getting node, of course, installed. Whoa, we have a lot of random taglines. Okay. Cute. Holiday taglines, cute. No onboarding, usage, cute. Where are the URLs that this is actually, like, where are the repositories and packages that this is going to pull other things from? Because ultimately that is the next point that I would drive to on this, is that, okay, you are curling and getting remote data to run arbitrarily via bash, which we all know. And then it's going to do the very same potentially for Homebrew based off of the GitHub URL. So we have points of failure, points of concern, points of, if Clawdbot were to be compromised and this install.sh script were to be tampered with, then you execute that. Same thing with if the Homebrew GitHub were to be compromised and tampered with and modified, then you execute that. Same thing with Homebrew and how it installs Node, if some way, somehow that were to be compromised. But this is all tinfoil hat, right? That is all very conspiracy theory, paranoid. What if all of these locations were to be compromised? That's a supply chain risk. That's what people start screaming about when they're talking about supply chain shenanigans. It's not impossible. It's not common. It's still possible. So let me look back at your perceived risk and personal threat model, and all the way that it installs and runs through here. So you could look through here and check, okay, does this do anything that will remove files? Does this do anything that will, like, install someplace otherwise that is sketchy or scary? But if we're willing to press the I believe button, again, your perceived risk and personal threat model, then sure, installing it from this is, you're trusting all those different dominoes that are down the line here. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Do we need to scroll through the install script for Clawdbot anymore? Have I gotten the point across on the dependencies of dependencies in installing this via curl pipe to bash? That's like point one of sketch that is up to you. Scary. What if homebrew GitHub is Pwnzord? What if non-standard repo for Node is Pwnzord? I think it is non-standard if it's going through like Node Minute, right? Sketchy supply chain shenanigans. Not impossible. Not common. Whatever. Your perceived risk and personal threat model. Okay. We get it. We good. Whoa. Sorry. I was throwing my virtual machine around and now I have to rerun the quick placement tool. Sorry, epileptic seizure. Let's now get back to Linux Mint. It has been installed. And with that, we'll have a clean little home for us to let Clawdbot rip. Yeah. We'll have more to talk about, and I see some other people discussing this in Twitch chat already of like, look, if you're seeing comments on X or Twitter of how this thing runs up a bill, we'll talk about that too. Shoot. We had a lot to do. Browser we don't need, computer we don't need. AI model? First, let's get this thing installed. Yeah? We don't need live stream base. Quick out of context question. What are your earbuds? We're using some of the eMeet. That's a horrendous name. eMeet thing. Just so that it's not as super annoying. Hey, how's it going, port abuser 80814? Great to see you again. And thanks for the follow, HefZ. Great to see everybody. Port abuser, we unfortunately are completely derailed, and thank you for the follow, slow_processor. We are nerd sniped momentarily to play with Clawdbot stuff. Yeah? So, inside of a terminal now, with our dedicated machine, this is inside of our virtual local network, virtual environment. This is not public. This is not on the open internet. This is not something that anyone would be able to hopefully get access to. We'll talk a little bit more about the nuances as we get through that, but I think we could install Clawdbot or, more likely, actually install SSH so we can communicate through this very easily. So let's just update super quick and do this. Yeah, I see some folks saying, I almost installed and used this, but decided not to. So again, thank you for the follow, Jerver114. I personally saw this some time ago. Whoa, want to install that. I want to install OpenSSH just so I can SSH into it. I saw this some time ago while I was kind of playing around with the idea of, okay, can I connect this to so many different things? The Enlightened Master, thank you for already logging in and being rude. But that felt, again, sketchy for all the reasons that we will continue to discuss. 111250? Can I get back to our Windows host and then, excuse me, connect to that super quick? Back on Windows. Robot at 192.168.111.250. Yeah. Ta-da! Ta-da! Okay, let me just add that into my host file. So I just have a domain for it super easily. I'm gonna notepad. Actually, let's just Sublime Text. I think we have Sublime Text easily. C, Windows, System32, drivers, etc. Hosts. Yeah? Okay, cool. So now I can just add that IP address and we'll call it Clawdbot. Come on! It still gives me permission denied. I am running as my admin, aren't I? Yeah. I see a lot of folks in chat talking about how people have been using this for like trading with Polymarket and stuff. I don't know anything about that. I don't know anything about that world. Can I please edit this now? Will you let me? Will you let me save it? Will you let me? Control S? No! What if we just run Notepad as administrator? As dumb and as stupid that is. Okay. Okay, cool. Now I can save totally fine. It did not complain. Clawdbot. Excellent. That work should be done. So now we just know that IP address. So now I don't need to specify it. And I can just say robot at Clawdbot within my local network because this host now knows what the heck he's talking about. Correct? Correct. Amazing. Yeah. Thank you, Hexit. I'm sure doing it that way is annoying. Okie dokie. Now, let's resume back to... Let's clean up a lot of the nonsense that we have open here. I'm sorry. We have a lot of pages open that we don't need to. Let's get back to what we've been talking about. Because your perceived risk and personal threat model remains true. We're pressing the I believe button on the dependency shenanigans, supply chain trouble that might come from curl pipe to bash, right? You're all tracking? We're good? Let's do it up and let's get Clawdbot installed. Clawdbot installer. If it's repetitive, I'll automate it. If it's hard, I'll bring jokes and a rollback plan. So yeah, it's able to determine the operating system as we saw. We know we don't have nodes, so we'll install it. Non-standard repo, is that right? Is that fair to say? Am I wrong? Chat, let me know, please. Dependency shenanigans, immediately ask for sudo access. Your perceived risk. Let's do it. Sure. Here's root. Granted, this one you can read the script. We know that, right? Malicious mirrors. Yeah. Frackery. Curl isn't secure. Haven't you seen all the AI security reports? How's it going, Hat Glasses Shirt? Thanks for coming to hang out. All right, gets installed. Configuring npm for user local installs. npm configured. Now we install Clawdbot. If we wanted to read the file again, we know we could. Granted, you have the domino effect of everything else that it is going to be installing. Let's look for the installing Clawdbot from this GitHub repository. We are still like so far from everything else that we need to talk about. We still need to talk about, for one thing, the AI models, your data privacy. We still need to talk about the local versus like online. I mean, that's basically there. Yeah. And then we need to talk about like your credentials, your API tokens, your secrets. And ultimately, that's the big one. Right? Because at the end of the day, otherwise the like gateway and control panel, while that can be an exposed attack surface, I like that approach, DJ Doughboy HTC. We do need your perceived risk. Okay, here we go. This is cool. Take a look. Is music too loud, by the way? Let me know. Now that I turn it up to jam out. So Clawdbot has installed. It's a bit too loud. Thank you, Lone Penguin. I take your voice as authority. You are the arbiter of my decisions, and I've turned it down for you and only you. Siri wasn't answering at 3 a.m. So let me give Peter Steinberg a shout out, right? This is cool. This is incredible. This is awesome, right? This is what has set the whole AI world on fire. Everyone on the Twitterverse and X and whatever screaming and shouting about this throughout the weekend. And everyone, I think, kind of knows the security concerns that some of us might be putting our head in the sand for. Some of us might be just outright ignoring. You have your personal risk and threat model. But they tell you this outright. They also give you the security page. And they tell you a little bit about how you can run a security audit. And I think this is kind of just looking at, hey, all-time Sofane, thank you so much for the follow. Yeah, I did see some of the changes about this updated recently because I think because of how like frequent and constant they are making changes. And I think there were some of the Twitter and X articles that saw a reverse proxy auth bypass for the exposed gateways. But I might be wrong. I don't want to say that outright because I can't say for certain. If anyone sees it in chat, if anyone is able to drop some of the info and context there, that'd be helpful. The security audit, I believe, though, is kind of looking for, okay, their controls. But they say it outright. Running an AI agent with shell access on your machine is just spicy. There's no better way to put it. Here's how to not get pwned. I feel like there's more to this because of some of the things that we'll dig into, but we do acknowledge there's no perfectly secure setup. The goal is to be delivered about who can talk to your bot, where the bot is allowed to act, and what the bot can touch. But I think some of the ways that we have the plumbing and foundation and scaffolding so far in Clawdbot is not really the best potential state. Like what we did last week on live stream that Port Abuser was helping with, the chat got to chime in with, we set up like our own secrets manager for our MCP servers and our AI access control inside of our ecosystem and infrastructure that required a specific passphrase that we had human control over, no AI information through it, not getting into our context because they're all programmatic deterministic tools, multi-factor authentication for me to be able to like get a push notification or enter a one-time PIN code from my phone, and then the usage of a credential was still only time-bound or like borrowed and leased for just the execution of what it needed to. Oh, BT Shell. Was it yours? Bo, I like that. Clawdbot, trade this 3,000 to a million. Don't make mistakes. It lost everything, but it was beautiful. So, I don't mean to fall down the rabbit hole, but the security page here is still good and kind of required reading. Obviously, there's a lot to this. Oh, but look at the threat model. Wow. I think a lot of these have a lot of nuance, though, that we still kind of need to say aloud. Oh, ending with Ali. How's it going? Great to see you. I hope you're well. Okay. There's a lot to uncover here, especially because of the DM access. Let me see if we can go to that point. I have about an hour left until I got to dig into some meetings and get back to real regular work. Yep, Shodan already littered with some people leaving these ports open. Maybe that's another project. I feel like what we need to do is maybe another tab or like another thing for like what we can do. Hey, thank you so much for the follow, Arixa. Get Clawdbot installed. Connect to Clawdbot on a channel, right? Then hook up email. Maybe we figured out. Maybe. I don't think we'll be able to get to it today. but maybe we experiment with it tomorrow because I'm not gonna actually. We're still gonna whisper alone, Penguin. But once we start to talk to the robot, we will. I think we really want to, though. Like, my end goal is to build some of the tools to remotely interact with an exposed Clawdbot gateway. Because, like, if we just had something that would, for one thing, prompt it, talk to it, burn token usage if we wanted to, you could get shady and hackery with that. And then we could do another... What are you spamming, Venno? Yeah. Maybe at that point also see and get it to run commands. Like, can we use it as a shell? Hey, Invoke Reversing, great to see you. So there's a lot to fall down the rabbit hole with, but let's get this thing actually installed so we can do it. Clawdbot agents can run commands, read and write files, and act through any tools you enable. So that's read, write, execute. Arbitrary read, write, and execute. They can only send messages on channels that you configure, like how you log in a machine or a bot like Slack or Discord or Telegram. If you're new to this, start with the sandbox and least privileges. Hey, UVCrow _ thanks. Appreciate the follow. Zephly II, yes, local LM is certainly what we want to talk about. Let me get to that. Oh, man. But from what I understand, sandboxing is just Docker containers. Hey, ZB, thank you for the follow. Oh, God, we're at the stupid song again. I didn't even pay attention. So, your threat model, your own opinions of Docker containers, again, maybe something that could be escaped out of. We've had some cool videos on that. We've showcased that. Obviously, that's not a perfect security boundary, but it is at least setting some encapsulation separate from your host or the machine that this runs on. Granted, we're using a dedicated machine. Thank you for the follows. Like the GPD2, the GPD whatever, your Mac Mini, if for some reason you forked out however much money to be able to do that. So at least, thank you for the follow, 2_Bruno. Sandboxing could be cool, but then I know you have a certain trade-off as to... Maybe this is like sandboxing? Like, Docker is going to be at least a thing, but nowhere near what we would want from just a full-blown virtual machine, right? Obviously, we're running Clawdbot in a virtual machine right now, and you'd have the, like, nested virtualization crap, but this is better than nothing, and you can decide your threat model, your risk, whether or not you want to run that or not. I will say, I feel like we lose some of the capability because you end up inside of another temporary sandbox file system. So if you want this to be your superpower, your Jarvis, having it its own little home and place to run around in, again, if you're using your dedicated hardware for this, then you decide whether or not you want a sandbox. I wanted it because it is hardware-based already in the sandbox to do this. But then you literally have to confirm, look, I know Clawdbot is going to be pretty sketch on the security front, right? Totally understand. Onboarding mode, we can do. And then we can talk about our models. Do we want to talk any more about sandboxing, though? Do we need to... Anything more on sandboxing? Port abusers giving us a thumbs up. Good Docker. Good dog. Ending with Ellie. Claude, why doesn't my girlfriend love me? Probably because you're talking to a robot. All right. AI model conversation. This is the data privacy section. Wow. Look, no matter what, you are gonna end up, if you're using Codex, OpenAI, Claude, Anthropic, Gemini, Google, like you get the idea, right? All of your communication goes to them. So you think about that, your personal risk and personal threat model, and we start to think a little bit more about what is actually going into our conversations with our AI and LLM. Now that we're using Clawdbot for the purposes of a personal AI assistant, and if you give it scoped access to your email, to your calendar, to your oven, stove, whatever, the secret, like the credential, the password, the token, and the key could still just be inside of the communication that is going back and forth to this external party, whatever one you want. Google, you might already be sketched out on. OpenAI, you might already be sketched out on. Claude and Anthropic gives you the like, oh, toggle, use my data for training or whatever that you could switch on or off. Do you trust that button? Do you trust a little on and off switch on the internet? I don't know. So the only way to get around this is to use a local model. You know? And then for people wondering about, okay, I'm just burning money and this is taking up so much stuff because, well, you ultimately aren't using like a subscription where your token amount is actually metered to however much time or usage. If you're using purely an API and it just keeps like cranking up money after every single chat message that you send, then yeah, it's going to go wild. Oh, does ChatGPT and OpenAI let you turn off trading data too? Totally. Again, but then again, it's like, I don't know that for sure. Hey, how's it going, Level Effect? Great to see you. Yeah, we're just goofing off. We're having fun. Take a look at our playground that we've been building out. So let me tell you, and I think I can like, I don't want to unplug the framework desktop that's beside me, but while I was messing with this on Friday, on Saturday, I installed Olama. Hey, thank you for the follow, Level Effect, on my framework desktop. Let me get to focus mode. Distraction-free mode is what it is? Yeah. I installed Quen 2.5 32 billion as the number of parameters and that Quen 2.5 model. And then I did it with the 72 one. And I hooked it up with Clawdbot and it works. Like it was functionally totally fine. You could communicate with that easily based off of a computer that's beside me. Again, another dedicated machine locally in my environment, not somewhere out on the internet, exposed, potentially random. So I could hook that up with Clawdbot and use it as its AI engine. You could hop, switch, use whatever model you ever want because you get that flexibility, but it was not smart. It was dumb. Also because my framework desktop does not have all the whatever NVIDIA CUDA GPU shenanigans crap. That was not like a good user experience. So then you go back to your perceived risk and personal threat model and decide, look, could we control, mitigate, or work with whatever gets sent to the big boy labs to use a model like that? You know what I mean? So I think for us to be able to play with this, let me go full cam and see what I can do. We could use some codec shenanigans. I am going to see if I can hook this up and not make any mistakes. Make no mistakes. Otherwise, yeah, I'll just burn myself to how we're going to use our robot and our open API shenanigans. Hey, why Woodlell, thank you so much for the follow. I am trying to connect these, and I am seeing if it's going to come through. It looks like it's just kind of hanging out right now. Oh! No, that was chat. You threw me off. Okay, cool. I got it. So, without hopefully accidentally leaking or showing anything, let me know. Did I leak? Am I leaking? Let's use GPT 5.2. Now we get to the next conversation. Thank you, ZM00, for the follow on Twitch. What's going on with distraction-free mode? Did we, like, not have the indents that we wanted? Now we can get to the communication channel. This is where you have a lot of flexibility, and this is where a lot of the fun comes from. And that, like, look, you're not messaging ChatGPT or Claude either in the browser or in the terminal. You're using Telegram or Discord or Slack or what kind of you're already used to. And again, a lot of the allure and attraction was the fact that, look, it's almost like it's another teammate, another team member, or another person, personal assistant that ends up with like a keyboard and a mouse and being able to accomplish things and get things done. So Discord, Slack, etc. I will tell you that actually I don't think I will tell you for OPSEC shenanigans. We could try to get something cruising with our local playground sandbox while we still got 15 minutes to hang out together. Let's do it in Telegram, because I think that's what a lot of folks will end up kind of using or referencing as like the easiest thing to get it going, right? You just quickly communicate with Botfather, and then we get an app and bot already working. You know what I mean? Yes, ending it with Ali, we can totally put it on our smart fridge. Now, the thing is, I want us, inside of our stream sandbox shenanigans, to kind of have our own Telegram account. Do you think, can I do that? Is that feasible? How do I download? Can I download for Windows? Was there not an option for Telegram for Windows? Please. There you go. Give me that. But for that, I also think that we basically need our own email address. And for that to create something in like GitHub, I also feel like Gmail or Google, thank you code underscore AJ underscore A underscore J. To get an email address, I also think we need a phone number, because Google does that for their verification stuff, which defeats the purpose of us needing Telegram. So we might be in a chicken and egg problem. I'm going to get up to speed on what are our actual walls here. Mm. Mm. Telegram kind of means we need a phone number, right? What's the way I can get a phone number? Text now? Sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry, Esar Eagle. Me just whining it was probably not good. I have always trying to figure out what I could do to get like a temporary easy spin up phone number. Like there are certain parts and pieces of the fake sock puppet account and the identity is things that I'm always kind of wondering what parts and pieces can I do. Let me see if off on the side we could do that. Because I don't want to obviously give a real phone number for this Telegram and live stream crap. I also don't want to have that kind of displayed. I'm going to be up probably against my first wall. Oh, can we do it in Discord? I mean, that's also an option. Google phone would also work. Granted, that will probably die quickly. Hey, RK1722, thank you so much for the follow. Let me be distracted with some task to see if I can get something spinning up on the fly. While that's happening, do we just jam out? Maybe we fall down the Discord rabbit hole if I can't get something cooking in that amount of time. Woosah, thank you so much for the follow. All right, let me get an area code. See if I can get a phone number. Let me do a quick experiment and go full stream, full cam, just to see if Telegram will be cool with that temporary number. I'm not quite seeing anything come through. So maybe we go Discord. I don't even know if that one will work well. Doesn't Discord need a phone number too? Are you guys whining about my reflective glasses? we fell that far already. Discord doesn't need it. Do we go down that route? Do we try it? That's going to be uncharted territory for me, so let me be the first to admit. If you guys are cool with me stumbling along and trying to figure stuff out, We can try it. I need to figure out how to do. Why is it taking so long? Why? Does this virtual machine need more resources? Nope. Okay, here we go. Okay, I mean, that's probably fine. So now we need Discord. We kind of need to create another email account. Can we get like a temporary one? I'm okay if it gets banned. I'm okay if it just falls apart. Will it work with a 10-minute email or like minute inbox? I doubt it. I doubt it. Yeah, someone just give me your Discord. That's an easiest solution. What was that? Who is that? That's my forehead. Is this my video? It is. Okay. I'm sorry. I was like, did someone sketch me out for a quick second? Wow. Whoo boy. Hooey. Clawdbot user. Sorry, this is very intense. No. All right, just give me a real potential password. And let's get back to music. Beep bop boop. Bibbidi bop. Hello? Sorry. Just trying to get music going again. It feels like really anxiety inducing when there's nothing in my ear. It's just me talking alone. You know what I mean? All right, let me see if this works. Let me just stage like a super temporary password. What? Yeah. Is that good? Is that enough? No. Can we get like a random I wanted to use like a totally random DNMX dark web email, but I don't know if we'll be able to reach that. Proton mail works for Discord. Can I just generate a quick and easy Proton mail? Proton mail temp alias is also a thing. That seems slightly annoying. All right. Proton mail it is. Create an account. Give me free. I don't need the FAQ. I just need to make an account, guys. Create an account. Free. Hey, Computer. I'm glad I met you at DEF CON. Thank you so much. Nope. It does a quick email verification, which I think I can do on a throwaway. So give me a sec. Thank you for bearing with me while I figure out stupid email and account shenanigans. I appreciate you guys still tolerating my nonsense. I think I've got Clawdbot email address set up for us, though. We'll see if this one works. Out of band notifications are making me laugh. JH Live. Oh shoot! I spelled Claude wrong the entire time. I spelled Clawdbot wrong. You're saying I need to set up multi-factor? That's somewhat annoying as well. But I guess. I think we can make that quick. This is good, though. I think if we got, like, the working proof of concept for this, we basically could then have an easier live stream email for anything else that we might play with in the future. You know what I mean? Okay. I swear I'm almost done. And then, like, just before I'm gonna have to dash, we'll finally have Clawdbot installed after a 2-hour work session. Stupid. I think we're okay. Hey, Track31, thank you so much for the follow. Okay. Let me see if I can create an account on Discord. I'm keeping full cam for the quick moment to just see how much of this I can cruise through and get done for us. See, here's the thing. Discord always wants to do phone verification. Maybe we just give it the random text now number that we tried? I doubt that that would work. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. That one also is not happy. Lame. Well, the thing is, like, I'm trying to just create an account, not even join a Discord server. Let me keep futzing around quick momentarily. Resources now being rate limited, so it didn't like that at all. Text verified. That's another option. Text now didn't get anything. We could do like Google Voice super quick. It would probably not like that. Oh! Yeah, do you think we could just use Clawdbot over Signal? Could we just do that? We didn't. Signal requires a real phone too. That's the thing, yeah. Each and every one of these is likely going to end up requiring a phone, which I have somewhat of a solution for with like a more privacy OPSEC kind of focused phone that is upstairs and I haven't gotten a chance to play with. What we could do... Yeah, IRC Clawdbot would be cool. I feel bad that this is like completely torpedoed what we wanted for just getting it going and then even discussing the secrets aspect. Yeah, I am probably going to run out of time with only 30 minutes left before we even get to Clawdbot, which is a real bummer. What else could we do? Yeah, an option is just bite the bullet and use like the Telegram that I naturally kind of use or work with. Or like log into Discord and make it craziness. I don't want to see a bunch of you trying to ping me on Discord while we do that, though. That would be horrendous. Hey, thank you so much for the follow, John Rosemary. Horrendous but entertaining. Yeah, thank you, Frackery. Shoot. I hate the fact that I'm like stumped. Because say I hook it up to real Telegram. Then real Telegram opens and leaks my real phone number. That's bad news, bears. We can't have that. Yeah. Don't I have a fake... Don't I have a burner Discord account? I might. I might just be able to use that. Stand by. Please stand by. Please stand by. Give me a little bit more time. Let me try and figure stuff out for a little bit. I think I might just be able to log in. Oh yeah, the Proton account also immediately got nerfed. So that one kind of faded away. I see we could use Discord without an actual account, but we kind of need to have like a full API token set up, don't we? That also might be problematic. What if... Give me a little bit of runway. And then if I run out of time, I run out of time. We've at least gotten to like 4, 5 of the potential pedestals of installing Clawdbot. Okay, okay. Alt is letting me in. So I'm logged into Discord. Now, what was our Discord direction? It was get to the developer portal and create a new application and a whole bot? Will I be able to do that while I'm logged in? I might. I'm walking through this process, but I am not going to show it because of the potential that it shows a key. So, forgive me. I appreciate you guys just hanging out with me, though, while I'm still not showing anything on my screen and getting stuff going. Okay, I feel like I look like I am logged in, and I can get to a Discord developer portal. I just kind of need to be able to create it and make it. Okay, go to your apps. There it is, finally. Took 3 different kind of links to go be able to track it down. Yeah, we're here for the hair flip. I appreciate that, Frackery. Yeah, there is a copy pasta of OAuth token, I'm sure. That makes sense. Bot. New application. Clawdbot. I am a robot. I am not a robot. I am human. That's the one. That's the one that I tried to say. Good. Bot, add bot, reset token. Multi-factor authentication? Why do I need to do that? Okay. I have a token. Then we need to add scopes. Yeah, Twilio could also work. I need to get smarter on that. You can use Clawdbot through their web chat, but... Oh, you're right. Dude, we could have just done that all along. Thank you, port abuser. We could have... we could have just used their own web interface, but then you see a lot of the spewage. And there would be a lot more to talk about. Okay. OAuth 2. Yes, save changes, you fool. URL generator. Bot. How do I add it to my server? Oh, I need to make a server first. Dude. Why can't I just DM it? Create my own server for me and my friends. GH.live. Okay, we're almost there. I swear to goodness gracious. We almost have Claude cooking. Clawdbot has been added to your server. A wild robot appeared. Oh, and we still need to enter the bot token. Yeah. Hey, Rateless30, thank you so much for the follow. Enable message content intent if you need message text. I don't know what that's supposed to be. No, Jean-Claude Van Damme is totally not the name. We'll just call him Robot. Okay. I think we might have him alive. That took a heck of a lot longer than we needed to. Can I hide the Discord, like, left-hand side? That's very annoying. Anyway, I think we can go back to screen. Yeah, it would have been, I'm sure there were a heck of a lot easier routes to do that, but thank you for tolerating and bearing with me. So, the next part, now that we have kind of uncovered the communication channel, there were some parts and pieces that we actually needed to talk about for the security's sake in that direction. Access to channels. Granted, we went Discord. Am I being... Oh, yeah. Stand by. I need to now step away. I'm also now being pulled for a quick be right back screen. Lol. Sorry. We're gonna have 20 minutes left, if that. BRB. Okie dokie. Okie dokie. Yeah, so where were we? I'm sorry. We went Discord for live stream, for our communication channel. We have not even yet gotten to skills. For the communication channel, especially if you had this hooked up via Telegram or any of the others, you ultimately want to kind of have things in an allow list. Same thing with who can message. Like, if you can lock it down to only your user is the one who can respond, that is what we should strive for. I think that's especially pertinent in Telegram, but the docs do cover that, correct? We haven't even looked at all of these that are here, and there are a ton of them, but when you get down to the channels, and then you can kind of understand what capabilities you actually have access to, like Telegram being one option, Discord being another, Slack, etc., etc. You will basically want to go through a lot of the command line capability here, and at least I think determine, even in the configuration, who is actually able to communicate and like what accounts. Control group allow lists and mention behavior. So guilds specifically for Discord, and then you're able to kind of determine those. It doesn't give an example that I'm seeing quite yet. But the Clawdbot.json is really where we want to be. Whenever you make those changes, though, you need to end up bouncing the gateway. And the gateway is sort of this control plane that ends up working. So those are realistically the only things I wanted to harp on for the comms channel. The allow list for yourself is especially important, so that only you are the only person who can talk to your robot. If you put in a group chat, that sounds like a bad idea to me, because then you're basically saying, hey, everyone else in this group chat can now message, run your token count, do whatever they want to for their prompt injection capabilities, and then get to code execution or arbitrary read, write, and execute on the host or sandbox that you've ended up putting this on, right? Chat, are you still with me? It was like quiet the moment I came back, and now I'm like slightly sketched that I died. Oh no, hat glasses shirt gives me a thumbs up. Either I died, Clawdbot died, or something. Okay, now let's get to skills. Skills are ultimately what give Clawdbot all of its power and have the attractive capability because they are like all of the sweet... Oh, hello? Oh, sorry, I forgot the URL. Because of the fact that this is open source. Like, because of the fact that anyone and everyone could create their own skills, and anyone and everyone could just define and create all of the capabilities for your AI agent and your LLM and your capabilities. So skills are cool. That's how you could kind of go through them. But granted, it is the usual skill in the like actual Claude Anthropic capability, noting that that is just a pure markdown file with the explanations as to how something should be done via your robot. In the loosey-goosey, totally vague, and timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly, non-deterministic LLM black box. You know what I mean? Like, that's not a strict procedural, progressive, deterministic program that machine code performs and operates. It's in the like loosey-goosey, vague, and hand-wavy LLM AI magic. that we can't always trust, right? Especially because of the fact that there are going to be so many of these different skills that the community puts out and are going to be out and about on Claude Hub or out and about. I feel like their search was broken. Oh, no. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. So this, again, is where your, say it with me, perceived risk and personal threat model kicks in. Because ultimately you have to be the judge and decision maker as like, do you want to, once again, pull from and utilize what someone else made? Even if you were to vibe code and create your own, which I think we should strive towards, then we are a little bit more secure. But whatever any of these potential skills should be that are available on the Claude Hub, you again either want to do your due diligence to check and see, okay, how does that work? What does it do? Et cetera, et cetera. And then see maybe what files are included in here. Comparing versions. I have not actually been in the Claude Hub personally because I just haven't used this. So I want to hear from you, chat. Like, what do you think of this concept and idea of, like, yes, incredible opportunity, incredible capability, and that the community can mass produce and make a lot of skills. So we extend all the capability for our AI agent, but then it's just loosey-goosey, taking it off the shelf. You can't really validate or verify unless you go do that yourself. Cyrus says, am I the only one that sees a flaw in skills like taking over the machine and making do a zombie machine through skills? Yeah. No, I don't think you're alone in that. Like, what I do find skills useful for, and again, how I think we've been trying to build out our little ecosystem throughout last week and how I tend to use AI, is that it ultimately needs to boil down to usage of a deterministic, programmatic, actually defined machine code program, like in Golang, and they're only able to just naturally use the command line arguments that we end up creating and defining for them. So we don't get into the weird, wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey, loosey-goosey, non-deterministic AI world. You know what I mean? So, like, if you want to be able to play with them, sure, we can configure skills, we can install it, and we need to get to this capability, hurry up and do this so that we actually have something to show for our freaking live stream today, because it took us forever. We're on the stupid song again. Stand by. I hate this song every single time. It's a good distraction. I'm trying to get to actually toggling skills on or off, because I would like to skip for now. We don't need Google Places. Absolutely not. We don't need Gemini. Absolutely not. OpenAI stuff for ImageN. Absolutely not. Don't need 11 Labs. Hooks let you automate actions when agent commands are issued. Save session context to memory when you issue /new, etc., etc. Sure, dude. We can YOLO for that one. And then we can call this just about done. Hey, Level Effect, thanks so much for being here. Yeah. I know we were kind of getting a little goofy for the development and getting things ready at the end of this, but here are the important parts and pieces that we get to once we are finally up in action. The gateway is how we can kind of access these things, and that ends up working via, I believe, WebSockets, while the control UI is actually the web interface to be able to manipulate and work with these, and it does require a token. You should still always make sure that this is essentially running locally, only locally, because otherwise that's exposed to the internet, and then anyone and everyone can talk to your AI agent. Not through Telegram, not through Discord, not through Slack or any of the things that you've configured, but just straight up talking to the WebSocket. And that should absolutely 1000% be another project for our next stream. But Start TUI is the defining action that makes your agent you. I don't want to do any of that. We don't need to talk about it later. So we should now, I hope, be able to now access the Clawdbot dashboard, and we don't need to open it. Let me relog in because I just don't think it added it to the path. There we go. When we take a look at the dashboard, you'll be able to see the real interface for this. And again, that is the control UI. But since we are SSH'd into this dedicated virtual machine, we need to expose that port on our host so that I'm able to access it because it is only running locally inside of that specific dedicated machine, right? So let's spawn that so that now I could get to my own representation of it. And now we can get to our Clawdbot. Gateway token is missing. Yep, thank you, because I forgot that. And we need that here. And that way, at least you aren't able to be interrupting these things. So this is what port abuser we were referring to the fact that, oh, you could just communicate with Clawdbot via this interface. But I know a lot of people are probably going to end up trying to reference this with Telegram, with Discord, with Slack, or whatever. And I really did want to at least talk about the allow list perspective there. Whoa! What the heck? What username did you throw in here? You can browse through skills, you can take a look at the other nodes or clients that connect from this, but ultimately, the client is what ends up connecting to this WebSocket for the gateway. So we could write, and we should absolutely make this for our next future task, maybe in a later stream, is writing and like creating a utility to interact with any remote gateway so that we could just ask a question, like an AI harness, and then try and execute or run a tool. Yeah. Nate, also trying to write some malicious skills this morning. Cursor and Claude are pretty good about catching obvious stuff like prompt injection, credit extraction, but concerned about 0 days. We did not even get to what we should talk about for prompt injection or our secrets. Secrets ultimately, I think, need to be boiled down to the controlled management capability that we built in to our own Golang environments for our own playground. Because as it stands, I think with Clawdbot right now, stuff that you add into the chat messages, stuff that you end up configuring based off of .json or credential files that you leave on disk, they are just only on disk in plain text. And again, maybe, okay, isolated dedicated machine, no one else will get into this, but if they do, that's the threat model that you got to be thinking about. Yeah, we're going to be playing a little bit more. I'd like to play with this in the afternoon today, if I can catch some time, but now I have to go do meetings for my other job, my other 2 jobs, my other work. But this is fun. All right. Hey, Clawdbot, are you here with me? And then, yeah, I'm here. Woo! Let me see if we can do this via Discord. Hey, dude, are you around? Or can I like message him directly? Hey, robot. Honestly, the chat interface might be better. Maybe we wasted all that time in Discord for no reason. How do I talk to him via Discord? Genuine question. I did not go down the Discord route. So he doesn't look like he's on or doing things. But yeah. He looks like he's offline. And yet, the communication in chat is totally fine. So we would probably have to like start it. Oh, Discord kind of complained. We would add all of our info, perhaps. Maybe I missed it in the Discord developers. We were moving quick on that front. All right, I'm running out of time. I'm going to have to call it. Let me switch to our jazzy outro song. And then I hope we'll be able to get back in action together later today, but no promises. But we will keep trying to cruise through doing some of our AI shenanigans. We still have a lot more to talk about and play with, but at least we got to a state where Clawdbot is up and running for us. It took us longer than it should have, but now we can have the visuals and walk through how do we handle our secrets, what are our concerns via prompt injection, and more. But we got to like 2 out of a couple, but hooking up email now would still be neat. All right, let me outro us. Everyone feel good? Number 1, you can call me John. Number 2, I will call you Robot. Robot is at least up and running. Yeah, time zone is America, New York. You can be casual, and you should not have an emoji signature. Well, unfortunately, my time is up, ladies and gentlemen. But at least we got Clawdbot capable inside of our virtual machines. And we'll be able to dig with this coming up soon. Next time we jam together. So, at least we got something. Better than nothing. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. Appreciate some of the chatter on the security shenanigans for Clawdbot. Again, I think there is a lot more to talk about, and I didn't even get to the most important stuff, which is handling your credentials, handling your passwords, handling your API tokens, your keys, your tokens, and your secrets. Because right now, I feel like they're just in the Wild West. It's kind of open season on the box that you put Clawdbot on. But that's the same way with anything that we're building out for a personal AI assistant. It's just kind of whatever you end up connecting to it. So, maybe we'll integrate a lot of the Golang tooling that we build. Did I say keys and tokens twice? You got it. But for now, everybody, we've got our robot in the works, and we'll keep on roboting. I'm going to tune out. We'll catch you maybe later today, maybe tomorrow, but we'll keep on the live stream train. Thank you, thank you, thank you.